In this unbelievable courtroom showdown, a man refuses to go by the name on the docket, claiming he's a Moorish American and an American national, not subject to U.S. law. From the moment he steps into the courtroom, he challenges the judge's authority, denies citizenship, and insists he only follows common law. Watch as the judge patiently explains the charges, the defendant's rights, and possible penalties, while the defendant refuses to cooperate at every turn. He rejects jurisdiction, refuses to participate, and leaves multiple warrants outstanding, all while wasting valuable court time. The narrator doesn't hold back, criticizing the leniency shown and warning that such behavior from sovereign citizens can escalate and cost courts thousands of dollars. This is a jaw-dropping example of how far some will go to challenge the system, and why the law won't bend. Don't miss this wild courtroom drama. It's a clash of personal beliefs versus established law, and it's as intense as it gets.
Identified in the docket as Michael Williams. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's the name they're calling me, but I am Williams L.
I understand.
Michael Williams. Okay.
No,
Mr.
I'm not
Williams,
Michael Williams, Your Honor.
Okay.
I am Williams
Okay.
L.
Okay. So here's the thing, Williams L. I have to call you what's on the documents that I have present for me in court today. We can either handle it that way, or you don't have to handle it, and then it just will be like you didn't show up to court today.
No,
So
Your Honor, I'm just letting you know who I. Your Honor, I'm just letting you know who I am.
Okay.
I am Williams L. I am not Michael Williams. They kept calling me Michael Williams. I told them who I was. I am a sovereign, Moorish American. I'm not United States citizen, Negro, Black, or color, Your Honor.
Okay. So let me tell you, Mr. Williams, this is the last time I'm gonna say it. This is all I have for you. If you don't want to handle it under that name today, then I have to act as if you aren't present. And so that's fine. But I
You
have
say
to
what?
call
Hold
you
on.
that document, okay?
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that,
I
Your Honor?
said, if we can't handle those matters and those tickets that's on that case under that name, then that's fine. But it's going to be as if you didn't appear for court today, because I have.
Ma'am, I'm here. I'm here today, ma'am.
Right. So I'm just saying, when I
Williams
call those
L is here
documents,
today. I'm just letting you know who I am, ma'am. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I am Williams L.
So that's fine. When I call it on the record, I'm going to have to call it on the record as the name on the ticket, just so you know. Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna let you know that I'm Williams L. Okay, I'm cool with that. And I'm letting you know who I am. I'm a Moorish American.
Okay. Did you want to offer? Okay. Did you want to offer for it or no? Are you going to try and have? I need to kind of know where you're going. Are you going to want a trial? Are you going to try and want to?
No, I do not agree. I do not agree to none of this. I'm sovereign.
Okay, so if you're not going to participate, we're just going to act like you're not here today, and I'm going to go ahead and.
I am here today, ma'am. You seeing me right here? That's on record.
Listen, just because you show up doesn't mean that you're here. You have to participate. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm a sovereign. I'm letting you know who I am. I'm participating. I do not agree.
Mr. Williams, that's fine. But if you don't participate, saying you're a sovereign doesn't help me.
I'm just letting you know who I am. That's violating a constitutional right, ma'am.
So do you want an offer or not? That's my question.
Do I want a what?
An offer to the tickets or not?
Do I want to? I can't understand. You said, do I want to offer?
Do you want an offer? Do you want to try and resolve this today as far as?
Yes, I do want to resolve it. I asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction, Your Honor.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen. So you can, I'm not going
to. I'm speaking for myself. I have no attorney, so I'm speaking for myself. I asked for this case to be dismissed. Violated my constitutional right.
How are you constitutional right?
United States citizen.
So how are you entitled to constitutional rights of citizens?
You got to uphold to the sovereign, sir. You can't. I'm not United States citizen. I'm not Negro, Black, or color. You're not under I'm not under your jurisdiction.
I understand, but my question to you is, if you want to rely on your constitutional rights, how do you have constitutional rights if you're denying your citizenship?
Because I'm an American. I'm a national.
I get
I'm
it,
a Moorish American. I'm not United States citizen corporate. I'm a Moorish American. I'm an American national.
Okay, but you're still present in this jurisdiction, right?
I just asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction. That's it. I don't want no attorney. I can speak for myself. I'm not a minority. What am I doing here?
He can represent himself. Don't worry about it.
I can speak for myself.
All right.
I'm speaking for myself. Y'all violate my rights. That's a
now
sovereign.
I'm calling the matters of the people versus Michael Williams. This is ticket number SP 1212334. Count 1, use loudspeaker without permission or unreasonable noise. Count 2, drove while license suspended. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor. Sir, please state your name for the record.
I am Williams L.
All right. All right. Sir,
I don't have a name. I have a.
You want to participate in these proceedings?
Yes, I'm here on special appearance. I'm just letting you know who I am.
All right. So how would you like to move forward with this matter, sir?
I asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction, Your Honor.
All right. That motion has been denied. How would you like to move forward on these matters?
I just told you what I would like it, so I don't know. I'm just here on special
appearance. It's been denied, so you can either participate today.
I am participating. I'm here.
No.
I'm speaking for myself. I have no attorney, so I'm just letting you know. It's denied, so we can keep going on with proceedings. I am Williams L. I'm not a United States citizen. I'm not Negro, Black, or color. I'm not Christian.
All right, Mr. Williams L. It appears to the court as I'm making a record that he does not want to participate in these proceedings.
I told you I wanted to participate. I'm just letting you know who I am. I told you for the record.
All right, he would like to not participate in these proceedings. He has told me that he is the person known as Williams L. and not the person on these tickets. So he is not appearing on behalf of this person. This person has not made themselves available to the court today as an arraignment on the bench warrant. So these matters will stay in warrant status. Thank you so much. That concludes this hearing. Have a good day, Mr. Williams. Williams L. I'm going to call the case as is.
Okay.
And then I'll refer to you as Williams L. if you would like. Okay. Now calling the matters of the people versus Michael Williams, also known as Williams L. This is ticket number SP 1212334. Count 1, use loudspeaker without permission or unreasonable noise. Count 2, drove while license suspended. And count 3 is no insurance misdemeanor. Sir, can you state your name for the record, please?
Williams L.
Okay. And is there another name that you have?
That's not my name. That's just my title.
Okay. What's your title that you have, sir?
Williams L.
And then is that your name or your title?
My title.
Okay. You don't have a name at all?
No, I'm not Christian.
All right. It's my understanding that you don't want to have an attorney, sir. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you know you have the right to have an attorney. These matters are misdemeanor matters, and you have the right to have an attorney on these matters, sir. And it's my understanding, no attorney, okay? So let me advise you of your rights. In these particular matters, the court can, since they are misdemeanors, do either, I think, 90 days on one of these and up to 93 days in jail, or a maximum fine of $500. These are all misdemeanors, so that's the maximum penalty that can be given in any of these matters. You have a right to have a trial, a bench, or a jury trial in any of these matters. A bench trial is a trial before myself as the trier and finder of facts. A jury trial is a trial with 6 members of the city of Detroit who will come in here and hear the same information and make a decision based on that. These are your rights that you have right now. You also have a right to have a pretrial. What that does is that gives you time to think about any offer that may be given to you. At this point in time, there has been an offer extended to you that if you are willing to plead to the no insurance misdemeanor, it will be reduced to an improper place. I set the fine that goes with that. You have a right to, you can also move for a motion. If you know how to file those, you can file a motion as well. So what's your pleasure at this time, sir?
I know I'm under common law. I'm not under statutes or codes or regulations.
So when you drive on any city street in the city of Detroit, any road in the state of Michigan, you now avail yourselves, whether you wanted to or not, to the laws and states and regulations that are governing us. So you may not have wanted to, but you did. So these are your options at this point in time. If you choose not to, if you were traveling, if you were driving, it's all the same.
I wasn't driving. I was never.
So if you were just in the vehicle as a passenger?
I was parked. And they was harassing.
You sure you don't want an attorney?
I'm under common law. I can speak for myself. I'm not a minority. I'm a
Okay.
sovereign.
So what option would you like today? Of those that I gave you, sir. You can have.
Ma'am, I'm a sovereign. I can't, I do not consent. I can't. I can't
So here's
consent.
what's gonna happen. So I want to make sure you have all the options. You can't consent to anything. So that means that you don't want to participate in the process. So it's just gonna go back into warrant status because you have to pick one of the options. Yes.
Ma'am, I'm a sovereign.
And you were in the city of Detroit on a street in a vehicle. And I understand what you just said. That's why I said, right. Did you want counsel? I'm
not in the United States. I'm under common law. Statutes don't apply to me. I'm under common law. Supreme Court case, Supreme Court case, Self versus Ray. Statutes don't apply to me. I'm on common law. And if there was a crime committed, can you please show me the injured party? Or I ask for this case to be dismissed off like a jurisdiction. I
deny the motion for the case to be dismissed, so you have these options, or else it's just going to remain.
And I'm under duress because you forcing me saying you're going to put a warrant out for my arrest.
It's already out there.
But that's violating my 13th Amendment. You can't enslave me unless a crime has been committed.
So you can't
violate my
let me finish talking. You can't claim you're sovereign and then claim rights under the Constitution. That's not how it works. No, that is not how it works.
I'm not a United States citizen. I have a nationality.
Okay, so that means that
you have to go by
either the laws all apply or none of them apply.
The laws do apply. Well, do you have a liability? Do you have a bond? Did you swear an oath to the Constitution? I would like to see that.
Yes, I was about to say I did do that, but I don't have to show you any of that because I wasn't the arresting party. I'm just here to make sure.
Do you have a liability? Do you have a bond?
I'm not going to argue with you, Mr.
I'm not arguing. I'm under law.
Mr. Williams L. Those are your options. If you don't want any of those options, it's going to remain in warrant status.
You're forcing me. You can't do that.
Okay.
You can't do that, man. You can't go against Constitution.
Okay, Mr.
You took an oath. You swore an oath to follow the Constitution.
I did.
That's why I need your liability bond. Do you have a liability bond?
No.
You don't have a liability bond?
No.
Wow, man. Somebody's going to get in trouble. I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble.
Yep. Okay. Mr. Williams L., I was about to say, if you don't want any of those options, then your only other option is that I have to leave it in warrant status.
I do not consent. I'm here. What warrant? That I didn't show up?
That you didn't want to choose one of these things.
I don't have to. You can't force me to do that, right?
You're right.
You can't force me. You can't put a warrant out. I would like to talk to somebody, a chief judge. You're violating my constitutional rights. You can go to the 5th floor and make a complaint. Yes, because you're violating my constitutional rights.
All right.
And I'm going to ask the sheriff for your liability bond.
Okay.
Hey, I don't want to do that.
You can ask him. Go ahead and ask the sheriff for my liability bond. It's fine.
Took an oath to swear to the Constitution. You took an oath. I'm under common law. I'm not under statutes or regulations.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Did you get all that, Miss Sandy? Okay, fantastic. All right, that concludes this hearing. Thank you so much.
Not Negro, black, or color for the record.
Okay. He said he's not black or color for the record either, okay?
No, I'm Moorish American. I'm a Moorish.
Moorish American, and he's a sovereign.
I have a.
This courtroom session is one for the books. Right from the moment the defendant walks in, it's clear this will not be an ordinary hearing. The man refuses to acknowledge the name on the docket, insisting that he is Williams L., not Michael Williams. He claims he is a Moorish American and an American national, someone who exists outside the reach of the court, beyond the law that governs everyone else in the United States. His confidence is unwavering, and his defiance sets the stage for a tense confrontation between personal belief in the legal system. As the judge begins to explain the charges, the defendant interrupts, declaring that he will not recognize the authority of the court. He repeatedly insists that he is operating under common law, and that statutes, regulations, and the court's procedures simply do not apply to him. The judge listens patiently, maintaining professionalism even as the courtroom grows tense. Every explanation of rights, options for trial, and potential penalties is met with the same response: refusal. The defendant does not answer questions, he does not acknowledge the docket name, and he continues to assert his status as someone above the law. Throughout the hearing, he challenges the court's jurisdiction at nearly every opportunity. He insists that the charges must be dismissed because the court has no authority over him. He refuses to provide identification, he rejects the court's terminology, and he repeatedly interrupts proceedings to insist on his own definitions of citizenship, rights, and legal obligations. It becomes clear that this is not just a simple misunderstanding or a legal strategy. This is a deep-seated belief in a legal philosophy that denies the authority of the government entirely. The judge responds with patience, carefully explaining the legal realities. He outlines the consequences of non-cooperation, including fines, potential jail time, and warrants for failure to appear. He attempts to bring the defendant back into the process, giving clear explanations and offering options for legal resolution. But each offer is met with further defiance. The defendant maintains that he is governed only by common law, and repeatedly refuses to participate in any of the court's procedures. The prosecutor enters, pointing out the contradictions in the defendant's statements. How can someone deny U.S. citizenship and yet insist on constitutional protections that apply only to citizens? How can someone claim to be outside the law while expecting to benefit from it? These contradictions highlight the unique challenges courts face when dealing with sovereign citizen arguments. The courtroom exchanges are intense, with the judge and prosecutor maintaining composure as the defendant continues his relentless denial of jurisdiction. As time passes, the tension escalates. The defendant's refusal to participate forces the judge to issue warrants for non-appearance. Each time a new ticket or charge is mentioned, the defendant refuses to acknowledge it, ensuring that these matters remain unresolved. The courtroom observers are left in disbelief at the persistence of his defiance. This is a man entirely committed to his beliefs, willing to disrupt the legal process and risk personal consequences to assert his version of the law. The narrator provides commentary throughout, criticizing what is perceived as judicial leniency. Courts have seen cases like this before, and while patience is necessary to avoid escalation, prolonged tolerance can also waste valuable resources and sometimes embolden individuals to act even more defiantly. Sovereign citizen behavior is not just a minor inconvenience. It can disrupt the administration of justice and even create potential safety risks in certain situations. The narrator's voice emphasizes the seriousness of the issue, drawing attention to how this clash of personal ideology versus established law plays out in real time. As the hearing continues, the defendant repeatedly asserts his rights under common law, claiming that statutes and regulations have no power over him. He refuses to answer questions, does not acknowledge the docket name, and continues to argue that the court lacks jurisdiction. Each of these moments highlights the tension between his personal beliefs and the court's obligation to enforce the law fairly and consistently. The judge continues to maintain composure, providing clear explanations while also warning about the consequences of continued defiance. Observers and the narrator alike point out the broader implications. This is not just a single individual making an unusual legal argument, it is part of a larger movement of individuals who reject governmental authority and rely on convoluted interpretations of law to challenge court proceedings. Courts across the country have had to deal with similar claims, and each encounter requires careful navigation to maintain order, uphold the law, and avoid unnecessary escalation. The defendant's repeated denials, insistence on alternative legal definitions, and refusal to cooperate create multiple points of tension. Each time the judge issues a clarification, the defendant counters with his own logic, insisting that he is free from legal obligation. The courtroom becomes a stage for the dramatic clash between personal ideology and the structured authority of the legal system. Every exchange, every refusal, and every insistence on common law serves to underscore the extraordinary nature of the case. The judge is forced to explain not only the charges but also the potential consequences of ignoring court orders. Fines, warrants, and legal penalties are all on the table, yet the defendant continues to argue that none of it applies to him. Each point of law is met with denial, making it clear that resolution will not come through conventional cooperation. This relentless defiance highlights both the challenges courts face with sovereign citizens and the patience required to navigate such cases effectively. The narrator emphasizes the frustration and risk involved. Courts are designed to provide justice, maintain order, and uphold the law, yet individuals who reject these principles can disrupt proceedings and consume significant public resources. The tension in the courtroom is not merely procedural, it is ideological. The defendant's commitment to his beliefs, combined with his refusal to comply with legal authority, creates a situation that is both dramatic and instructive for anyone watching. Throughout the hearing, the repeated exchanges over jurisdiction, identity, and rights create a rhythm of tension. Each refusal to participate, each insistence on alternative legal definitions, and each denial of citizenship serves to build the narrative of a courtroom grappling with defiance. The judge remains calm, the prosecutor continues to highlight contradictions, and the defendant remains steadfast in his beliefs. It is a microcosm of a broader legal struggle between personal ideology and the authority of established law. As the session draws on, it becomes increasingly clear that the court must balance patience with enforcement. Warrants remain outstanding, charges are unresolved, and the defendant's refusal to participate ensures that the legal system is being challenged in real time. The narrator's commentary frames these events for the viewer, highlighting the consequences of such defiance, the frustration it causes, and the importance of judicial patience. This courtroom encounter is a dramatic illustration of the clash between belief and law. It is a story of persistence, defiance, and the limits of personal interpretation in the face of structured legal authority. Viewers are left with a vivid depiction of what happens when an individual refuses to acknowledge the law, and why courts must maintain both patience and firmness. By the end of the session, the lasting image is one of extraordinary defiance. A man refuses to participate, repeatedly denies jurisdiction, and insists he is above the statutes that govern everyone else. Meanwhile, the court demonstrates restraint, procedure, and clarity, providing a clear example of how the legal system responds to challenges of ideology, identity, and authority. This is not just a courtroom drama, it's a lesson in law, personal belief, and the real-world consequences of denying established authority. It is a story of tension, patience, and the collision of two very different understandings of what law is and who it applies to. The courtroom becomes a stage for this ideological struggle, with every word, refusal, and explanation building a narrative that is impossible to ignore.